you're going to say is that real unemployment, now, got official unemployment statistics come out every month. They're going down. Last official unemployment rate was 5.3%, much lower than it used to be. But official unemployment is not real unemployment because it doesn't include those people giving up looking for work and those millions of people working part-time when they want to work full-time. And that together with the government tells us is that real unemployment is about 10.5%. Millions of people need work. And then I want to tell you something that almost nobody is talking about, and we have got to raise this issue to the sky. And that is the tragedy of youth unemployment in America. Hardly ever talked about. The Economic Policy Institute, one of the important progressive think tanks in this country, recently came out with a report. This is what they said. Listen to this. They said for kids between 17 and 20 who either graduated high school or dropped out of high school, if they were white, their unemployment rate was 33%. If they were Hispanic, their unemployment rate was 36%. If they were African American, the unemployment rate was 51%. And this is an issue that we don't even talk about, let alone seriously try to address. And what happens? What happens, among other things, is that we have millions of young people, about 5.5 million in America, who have no jobs, who are not in school. Bad things happen. And it is no coincidence that today we have more people in jail by far than any other country on earth. China is a communist, authoritarian country, 3-4 times our population. We have more people in jail than China. It seems to me kind of commonsensical that instead of locking up hundreds and hundreds of thousands of young people, maybe we invest in education and jobs rather than in jail. When you think about what jails do, people arrested for marijuana use and everything else, these lives are being destroyed. Because these arrest records are there, following them around for their lives, very hard to get jobs. And a bad situation becomes much worse. But when we talk about the economy, it is also important to understand that it's not just income and wealth inequality which we have to deal with. That it's not only high unemployment we have to deal with. It is the fact that millions of Americans are working at horrendously low wages, period. And what that means is it is imperative that we raise this minimum wage to a living wage so that nobody in America who works 40 hours a week lives in poverty. And it also means very importantly, that we establish pay equity in this country for women workers. Women should not be making 78 cents on the dollar to pay the men. Now, when I talk about my Republican colleagues, we hear many of them going around the country talking about family values. They just love families. Well, I've got 4 kids, great kids, and I've got 7 grandchildren. Been married for 27 years. I am very strongly pro-family, but my view of pro-family is a little bit different than this. When Republicans talk about family values, this is what they mean. They are telling us that women in America should not have the right to control their own bodies. I disagree. They are telling us that women are not intelligent enough to know what contraceptives they might wish to purchase. I disagree. And they are telling us that gay couples should not have the same rights as straight couples and be able to get married. I strongly disagree. Now that is their view of family values. What in fact is an agenda, a proposal that really meets the needs of American families? Let me just suggest a few ideas. Number one, not only are we the only major nation on earth that doesn't guarantee health care to old people as a right, we are also the only major country that doesn't provide family medical leave. You want to hear a family value? A family value is that when a mom has a baby, regardless of her income, she should be able to stay home for 12 weeks with pay. That's a family value. It is a family value that every worker in America should be guaranteed at least 7 days of paid sick pay. Given the fact that Americans work the longest hours of any other people in a major country, and given the fact that there are jobs out there now which provide zero vacation pay, every family in America should get at least 2 weeks of paid vacation. Let me conclude by touching on an issue which Pope Francis recently spoke about in his encyclical, and that all of us know is a huge planetary crisis. When we look at ourselves as adults and as parents, I think there is nothing more important than making certain that we leave this planet to our kids and our grandchildren in a way that is habitable. The debate is over. Maybe not on Fox TV, but other than that, the debate is over, and the scientific community is almost unanimous in stating climate change is real. Climate change is caused by human activity. Climate change is already causing devastating problems in the United States and throughout the world. And what the scientists tell us is that we have a reasonably short window of opportunity to transform our energy system, to move away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and sustainable energy. Short window of opportunity. And what they tell us is if we don't take that opportunity, by the end of this century, the planet Earth will be between 5 to 10 degrees Fahrenheit warmer. And what that means is more drought, more floods, more extreme weather disturbances, more acidification of the ocean. And what the CIA and the Department of Defense tell us, it means there will be more global conflict. Because the people around the world do not have the water they need. They don't have the land they need to grow their crops. They're going to migrate into other people's territory, causing international conflict. In my view, the United States should lead the world in transforming our energy system away from fossil fuel to energy efficiency and sustainable energies like wind, solar, geothermal. We can do this. We have the technology now. It will only get better in the future. Sandra's getting nervous, so I'm going to conclude. I want to say this. What the Republican worldview is a worldview way out of touch with where the American people are. It is a worldview shaped by the fact that the billionaire class, the wealthiest people in this country, are strongly supporting them. And they do the bidding of the billionaire class. Our job, and I beg this of you, is not to fall into the trap where the liberal position is to cut education only by 2% as opposed to the Republicans wanting to cut it by 8%. That should not be our worldview. Our worldview should be to ask, why not? Why can we not live in a country, as is the case of every other major country, where health care is a right of all people? Why not? Why can we not live in a country where working families have quality and affordable child care and every American can go to college regardless of his or her income? Why in the wealthiest country in the history of the world, where in the last 30 years there has been a huge transfer of wealth from the middle class to the top 1/10 of 1%, why should not every senior citizen in this country be allowed to retire with security and dignity? After sending our young men and women to Iraq and Afghanistan, and I'm proud to tell you I voted against that war in Iraq. Why are there people talking about cutting veterans' benefit when we should make sure that all of our veterans get the benefits of the health care that they need? We have made progress in recent years, and we should be very proud of this, in overcoming a lot of discrimination in America. We have a long way to go, but we have made progress in terms of combating racism, sexism, homophobia, and a lot of other discriminatory practices. But there is one area where not only where we have not made progress, we are losing ground, and that is the economic struggle. I believe, from the bottom of my heart, that if we stand together, if we increase the voter turnout so that we don't have 63% of the people not voting, as was the case last November, but if we can motivate young people and working people to stand up and say loudly and clearly, this nation belongs to all of us, not just a handful. Government must represent all of us and not big donors. If we can do that, there is nothing that we cannot accomplish. Thank you all very much.